Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negro. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic, so for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and Twitch. I know this is unusual that I do a late stream because usually I don't do streams past 11 o'clock, but you know what? Tonight is an exception. Now, I want to let everybody know that the subscriber note has been enabled, meaning that if you're not a subscriber, you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel, whether it be from day one or as recently as this week. I really appreciate all the love and support all of you have given me. Also, want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I want to give a huge shout out to those who allowed me to enter into your devices. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So as you can see by the thumbnail, tonight, it's what we call open discussion. So what happens? Well, I talk about certain things that are on my mind that I will share with the audience. Also, it's an opportunity for audience. If they have anything that they wish for me to talk about, I'll do my best to comply. Okay. And I do have a few things on my mind. Okay. First of all, I'm going to start out with my defense with Gigi and Multi. Now, good evening, Gigi. Thank you very much for stopping by. Now, look, I'm gonna make this perfectly clear. Well, these ladies do not need me to defend them, okay? But there's been a lot of untruths, so to speak, that's been spreading around these ladies. Okay. First of all, in regards to the fact of Gigi's past or alleged past, okay? Now, I'm not going to say and talk about further regarding her past other than the fact that we all make mistakes in life, okay? And it's not a good thing whenever anyone tries to make more of a person's past than what it is. I understand that there are many people that have issues with Gigi and Multi. I understand that. I can appreciate that. I have known these two ladies for over 2 years. Okay. And they have shown nothing but the greatest amount of love and respect towards me. Okay. Are they perfect? No. Have they made mistakes? Yes. Okay. But I think before people start to react to the hype, what have you, and believe everything to be said, I think what in all fairness everyone should do is observe their actions and observe their words, and then you make a determination as far as what you perceive these ladies to be. Again, these two ladies I have known for 2 years. They're very talented with their platforms. They've had a great deal of success with their platforms. They do share a lot of content, which is interesting. Now, at times it can get a little spicy, okay? But the last time I checked, that's not a crime, okay? And this allegation regarding whether they are baby mamas or what have you, uh, in my opinion, it's irrelevant. Now, as far as Gigi's alleged criminal past, I mean, you need to put you need you need to produce actual facts other than this receipts which can't be altered. Okay, and it seems like I mean, these two ladies are living rent free on certain individuals' minds. Okay, and let's just say let's just say that I hold a different point of view. Okay, um, there are people that actually obsess with these two ladies and trying to regulate who they interact with, where they can go, what type of content that they can produce. The last time I checked, there is a thing called free speech, okay? And they're allowed to say the fluff they want. They're allowed to talk about this fluff they want, okay? But, this whole notion that allegedly Gigi has a bunch of baby daddies and done this and done that. Okay. In the words of the attorney, I object. Facts not enter into evidence. Just to practice a little law, so to speak. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. Okay. Now, this is going to be the last. Yeah. Now, this is going to be the last time I'm going to be addressing Al. Okay. And usually I wasn't even going to go there. But he did another stream when actually he is encouraging other YouTube creators to not allow these ladies on their platforms and to boycott their platforms. Okay. First of all, let me make this perfectly clear. If you don't like anyone's content, then simply don't consume it. Yep. Another stream which was taken down. I wonder why. Okay. And look, I can speak for myself. I have not been, okay, I understand that I may not be the most tech savvy creator in these YouTube streets. And of course, I have issues with my internet going off and on and what have you. And I had, a couple of kerfuffles. But with all the technical difficulties that I have experienced, I have been able to produce quality content without attacking anybody. Yes, do you hear this? I produce quality content without attacking anybody. If you were to take away all of the reaction videos that I did, you still leave like about 95% of my content intact. But the fact that now he's calling on people to not allow these ladies on their platforms, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Gigi and Multi will always be working on my platforms. Okay, they will always have an opportunity to express their point of view. All I ask is just make sure that we all, we all allow everybody else to say their point of view. Okay, which brings me to another point, and L. It's a shame that you have to, that the only way that you can create views is to attack Gigi and Multi. If I were you, I would try to do something like and spend more time and energy doing your sci-fi stuff. But then again, seeing the number of views that you're getting with your science fiction streams, I'm not surprised. But okay. Now the next thing I'm going to be talking about is this business of disassociating themselves with others simply because of the fact that they're cool with their ops. Okay. As of today, I was removed from another person's platform without explanation, without any reasoning. You know what? That's that person's right to do so. But then again, I also have the right to restrict that person's access to me as well. So as a result, that person has been blocked on my Discord, and this person will not be welcome on this platform. Okay. All I'm going to say is, look, get over the fact that I'm good with certain people. Get over the fact that I treat people as, with their character. Get over the fact that I like people, that people actually like me. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, there have been more than a few people that I associated with the ops I've had issues with. Okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Not everyone is going to get along with everybody else. I get it. Okay. But when it gets to the point when you start to punish certain individuals simply because they are cool with certain people who are ops, that's a huge problem. Okay. It's a huge problem because, first of all, you're not basing anything on individual actions or what they're said. You're basing it simply because I'm cool with this person that you're not cool with. Okay? Sorry, but not sorry. I'm going to hang with those who hang with me. Okay? And those of you that decide not to associate themselves with me simply because of the fact that there's certain people that I'm cool with, you're the loser in all this. Okay? I can accept the fact that I have certain friends that are cool with certain people that I'm not cool with. That does not mean I'm going to disassociate myself with them simply because of that case. I deal with everyone on an individual basis, something that some of these people need to learn how to do. Okay? So all I'm going to say is the following. To those of you who do not know anything about Golden Goddess and Multi, observe their content, observe their interactions, and then you make a decision, okay? Don't be influenced by the ops. Don't even be influenced by me. You take a look at their content and you take a look at how they interact, and then you decide. Actually, Gigi, the link has been pinned. If you want to join in, it's been pinned. Okay, but let me just move into um, the next thing that I'm gonna be dealing with. Um, Gigi, if you see the top of the top of the chat, the link is there. Okay. Now the next thing I'm gonna be I plan to do, and this is something that this is just an experiment. Um, some of you know I do motivational short videos, which gets air. And I see we have a guest. Okay, well, let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the channel, you raise viewers to the image. Some of the views that people might hold may consider offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. Okay. Good evening, Gigi.
Hey Jose, how you doing?
Okay. This is the first time for me being on this late at night, but hey ho, you gotta try to do things differently.
Yeah, you got to try out them time slots and see which ones work the best.
Yeah. But
But
go ahead, Gigi.
I was just gonna say, I just didn't want you to put yourself out too much or whatever. And I definitely, we both appreciate your kind words and the fact that, you have remained a good friend, a loyal person, a good person out in these YouTube streets. We all know that those are hard to find. But it's a whole like it's a whole like cult mentality situation going on in these parts. So, once you break free of the programming, it's like you really just don't give a shit about all of that. So it's like I'm not out here campaigning for people to like me or not like me. I've been real since I came on YouTube. So it's like at this point, either you do or you don't. You know what I mean? And I'm good either way. I'm not interested in like winning over people or or even building hate watchers, because some people come out here and they just want views and clicks by any means necessary, like even if it's hate watchers. That's why, me and Moti, we're rebranding, and we're just going to have open commentary, kind of like how you do on your channel, just open commentary and not just be niched down. We don't see any reason to further interact with these people or be associated or hashtagged or any of that. We don't need them, and at this point just don't want to be associated with the whole situation at all. I rebranded when I became Golden Goddess. I was Bobby Bobcat before, and I'm going to rebrand again. It's just part of um evolving on YouTube. If something is no longer beneficial for you and it's just detrimental, then it's just time to move on. And that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't
Well,
stress it too much. Just keep doing you and making your moves however you see fit for yourself or whatever. But I'm not interested in fighting with those people, even talking about them, to be honest. Like, I'm here for the open topics though, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
apart from this, moving forward, I don't care to talk about any of those people.
Yeah. Well, first of all, good evening, Irby. Yes, this is something new for me. I usually don't go on 11 o'clock at night, but like I said, you got to try to
Hey,
do things
Irving.
differently. It's just that, you know what it is, Gigi, when you are constantly doing the same thing over and over again, it gets stale after a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this, and I'm not going to mention any particular creator. I see this with certain creators in general, okay, that they're constantly doing the same thing, and the only way they can get streams by acting a certain way and whatever, get views, whatever. That's never been my philosophy, okay? And you
Mm-hmm.
have seen me, with my content, okay? I try to discuss things that are different, okay? And to me, my niche is dealing with everyday issues because let's keep it real. Not too many people were seriously talking about this. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I talk about these things. I also talk about things regarding mental health, because there's a big, we look, there are many people going around that in need of mental health, but because of shame, because of what have you, they don't take advantage of what's available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about, like, people that are crazy don't think that they're crazy. So there's that, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. No, but I just want to make it perfectly clear, Gigi, you and Multi, you're always welcome here. Okay, this is going to be, this is a safe space with you two ladies, and I really appreciate your content.
Oh, thank you, Jose. I appreciate that too. You're also welcome on our channels or whatever. It's just really not much is changing. It's just just like you said, who when you get niche down to it also gets difficult, because it's like, do you really want to, like, imagine if you were niche down, Jose, to the point that you had to do a live stream every night or every week about one certain topic. You know what I mean? It's just really um it's just not ideal for a content creator. You feel stifled after a while, you know what I mean?
No, you got to try to do things differently. Like
Mhm.
for example, one of the things I've been doing recently, I've been doing rebroadcasts of certain streams that I did. Um, because some of them, some of the earlier streams, while they may not have the views, but they had some good content. And I did interview a few YouTube creators last year.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and you know you 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 cannot be afraid to try. You got to try to do things differently, okay? Which is what I've
I
done.
was
I've done.
already monetized when I rebranded Bobby Bobcat. I was already monetized. I was already a T sector channel, and I literally dropped everything and just boom. But like, if you're coming out and you're talking about topics, especially ones that are like directed towards like race and stuff like that, that's going to, number one, attract a lot of weirdos to the space. Number two, it's something that people fight over, so it's a level of toxicity already involved. You know what I mean? And on top of that, then you got mentally unstable people. So yeah, I just I just think personally, it's not where I would want to continue to reside on YouTube.
I agree,
It's like,
and you know what? Look, I
it's
agree.
time to get out the
And
hood, Jose.
but
Yeah.
I last year I had a term for these individuals. I called them the mentally and intellectually challenged.
Yeah. Well, good luck to everybody. That's all I can say. I mean, I don't have any energy to care or to hate or to be mad. Like, it's just like, do whatever you do. You come and you put yourself in these positions to be talking about very controversial topics. People want to rewrite history, they want to be unappreciative, they want to be disrespectful. So it's like, why would you continue to put yourself in that situation? Like, y'all go ahead and y'all make the content, y'all take the hits, and y'all do all that, and then you can turn around and see how the people will turn around and in the and still not even support you or appreciate you, because no thank you. I think I'll cast my net to a broader audience and be able to express myself in a more free and fun manner, because I used to have fun on YouTube. It's not fun anymore, and I hate that because I love
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah. You know what? I can get it, and you know what? The fact of the matter is, with all the problems that I have had with equipment, with the internet, because unfortunately, there's a problem with the internet here in New York. The
Mm-hmm.
fact I have 230 subs, that's a testimony itself.
Well, yeah, and you done took a couple hits out here in these YouTube streets, and they're coming back, and they always will. And that's just how YouTube works. Is why you can't get too worked up over it. That's like my game plan. Like, even if people like stop or like start unsubscribing to my channel because of the brand change, like, that's fine with me. They'll rebuild. You know what I mean? Um, I definitely have rebuilt several times out here in these YouTube streets, so it's not nothing that I'm scared of.
Yeah, but
Mm.
I'm sorry, but sometimes when I have to when I watch the El No show, I have to chuckle some of the. And what scares me is that he's close to my age
To get through. I
because
don't matter.
I'm 60 years old, and it's like he's going to create an image that people of my age are all the same way. No.
They say you in my waist, you can get it.
Yeah. But look, when everything is said and done, my number one goal is be the best version of Jose Negro. Okay. Which means
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to do things differently. I'm going to, whenever I can, um, team up with with great creators. Whether it be you or Multi or anybody else from my side of the fence, and
Mhm.
the haters can keep hating,
Well,
and
you're in a good position because you got your own little spot. You got your own little spot, so you're in a good position regardless of who fucks with you or who don't, because you already got your own little foundation, and that's always important. And that's the problem with that space over there is that, like I said, with the cult mentality situation. So if you got one person making a lie and you got different people mad at you, and then they all team up together, and then anytime any new person comes to the space, they all get in that person's ear and say that person's bad, bad, bad. This is how cults are. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell wants to be a part of that? Like, hell no. I've never been a following ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I've always been a leader. I'm an Aries, so no, thank you.
well,
No, thank you. I'm not interested.
one thing I've said it before. I mean, we can disagree, but as long as we are agreeable when we disagree, okay. The problem is that you have some of these people that, heaven forbid, if you have a point of view that's slightly out of kilter, next thing you know it, they want to disassociate themselves from you.
Yeah, and that's the problem too, because people used to like disagree and even argue and come back, and then I think that people were entertained by that, the kind of the novella quality to it all, the breakup to makeup. Hey, you guys are friends, and then you guys break up, and then you're back together, and then but now it's to a point that everybody just like nobody can work together. So therefore, like the show's fucking, it's a wrap. It's a wrap on that bitch. At the end of the day, with all these crazy ass characters, we were always all stronger together than separate, but it's so self-destructive, just like all human beings. It's like we have to like destroy everything. A space so small that just where everybody's at constant war, it's just destroying itself, and that's why it's not growing, and they're too dumb to realize that.
You know, what's the clear definition of insanity? Keep doing the
Doing
same
the
thing
same
all the
thing over and
time,
over and over.
and then trying to
Yep.
get a different result. That's the definition of insanity.
I think because I look at this stuff differently. I go to other spaces, I go to other sectors, and I see like even when they quote unquote have beef per se, a lot of it is YouTube crap, and everybody still has this unspoken thing that like we're all feeding off of each other's content to actually build a sector. But for whatever reason, the lines over here are so blurred and personal. I just don't see it really mendable. And these are just my thoughts and my opinions. It's just too toxic. It's dangerous to be in. A lot of people don't want to drop down out of the clouds. People don't want to like end up on people's videos getting harassed and made fun of and called names or be doxxed or have, services called on them. And, like who wants to deal with that shit? That's what I'm saying. Like literally just destroying the space. So it's kind of like the damn Titanic. That bitch is going down, and we just jumped the fuck off.
Well, I mean, just recently, there was an individual which I thought I was cool with, removed me from his from the Discord, which is like, give me a break. I mean, okay, look, I understand.
Well,
I
I did
understand.
see a post. I saw a post and it said it was for certain groups of people. Do you think maybe it was just because it was for certain groups of people and not personal? Do you think that's a possibility?
You know what? I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it a discussion before being removed. Okay, because the fact of the matter is, okay, I understand the situation, and I was willing to abide by the rules and the regulations, whatever. But the next thing you know, I'm removed from Discord. And look,
Mm.
I get it. I get it. That some of the people that I hang with, the people that have issues with, but you know what? Fluff it. I will deal with those who deal with me. If you're
Wait, hold
cool
on
with
one
me,
second, Jose. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
okay. Well, you know what? I don't know why. I don't know why, Irby, but you know what? In any case, look, this is the whole point, and I've seen this a couple of times. People will stop associating with a certain individual simply because of the fact that that person is cool with someone that that person is having a beef with, which is insane. Okay, look, I know people that are cool with other people, which I have a beef with. I'm not going to disassociate myself with those people simply because of that. Okay? Yep. Yep. Okay, you know what? I hear you. But you know something? The whole look, I have a different approach to a lot of these people. I have a different approach. My approach is this: I'm here to produce content, okay, and content which can be consumed and enjoyed. Okay, I'm not here to talk about Mr. BBC. I'm not here talking about making the DR white again. I'm not here to be talking about the culture wars and all that sort of stuff. I'm here to produce content. Okay. I'm here to provide information. Okay. And hopefully my content will be consumed by some people. That's why I'm here. That is why I'm here. Okay. Eventually, I want to get to the point where I would be monetized. Okay. But the reality is this: when it comes to certain creators, sometimes it's going to take some time. Okay. Okay. But again, as I stated before,
Okay, I'm back.
yeah, yeah, that's insane. That is totally insane. This whole doxing stuff and what have you. And I've seen certain individuals that they do stream after stream after stream. Why? I wish I knew. Okay. Yeah, good evening, Don Armando. Thank you very much for stopping by. Um, the link has been pinned. Okay, I think we just lost. Okay, I think we just lost Gigi. Okay, well, in any case, the link is there, Don Armando. If you wish to, join the panel. But until that, I'm just gonna do. Okay, let's see. Give me a moment. Okay. Okay. You know what? Uh, sure. Just text me where we're gonna meet tomorrow. That's all. Irby. The link has been pinned in the chat. If you wish to join in and and express your point of view, I'm just waiting to see when Gigi's able. No, okay. Now let's talk about some of the other things that I'm gonna be planning to do. Now, one thing I'm planning to do, um, what I call warm interest, human interest story. Okay. I see that Gigi is having some, I don't know, maybe Gigi's having some technical difficulties. But I want to do some warm human interest stories. And the reason why is that unfortunately, there's not a lot of positive stuff that's out there in the news. So I want to, when I come across anything positive and noteworthy, I will talk about it and share the information on my stream. Okay. Let's see if we can bring Gigi back. Okay.
Can you
Gigi,
hear
are you
me?
there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I was having, I guess, some technical difficulties.
Well, you know what? I had quite a few technical difficulties, and let's just say that some of them have been very laughable.
Okay, where are we at in the conversation?
No,
Is
I'm
Irby
just
coming
talking.
up?
No, I'm just talking about some of the other things I plan to do with my channel. One thing I want to do is talk about some positive human interest stories because that they don't get highlighted a lot. And unfortunately, when you take a look at the news, it's bad. I mean, it's like someone getting shot, someone getting killed, someone getting what have
Yeah.
you. So I just want to bring something positive.
Mhm.
Also, I plan to do some more reaction videos. Okay. Um, now, one reaction video I actually did was regarding Ebony K. Williams. And she's reported that she wants to become a single mom at 40, which is that's perfectly fine. But I just wanted, I just share the order regarding and I just gave my reaction. So it's just certain things that I plan to do.
Yeah, I
Of
saw
course,
your stream on it. It was good. I thought you made some good points on it. I caught the playback. Yeah, trending topics is always where it's at. You know what I mean?
yeah, Irby, Ebony K. Williams again. I mean, she wants to be a
Ah,
single. No, look, the problem I have with her, okay, it's one thing when you are successful in what you do and you have the financial resources to go across the country to get black sperm in order to be impregnated, okay, and to pay for quality childcare. It's another thing when you don't have the financial resources that she has. And I
yeah.
think it sets a dangerous precedent, thinking, oh, she
It's
can
hard
do it,
having
I can
kids.
do it too.
It's hard having kids. I'm married and it's still hard, even with help and a partner. So I don't know. Yeah, that's why I say I agree with your assessment of the situation. Not everybody is in a situation that she's in where you can have nannies and this and that, and you know what I mean? So it's different, maids and cooks, and I wouldn't
Yeah,
promote that to the masses.
yeah. And look, childcare can be very expensive. I mean, particularly if you are a single mom and to find affordable childcare, because you don't want to leave your child with just anybody, because heaven forbid something, sick, happens to these children.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, which is why I had such a huge issue. Not so much the fact that she wants to do it herself, okay? She can do whatever the fluff she wants. It's the idea of encouraging single women to do this.
Well, yeah, because research shows that children do better in two-parent households. We all know that, we're adults.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I have the issue with. Not so much that she wants to do that, and that's her choice. But encouraging other women to do the same thing, don't we?
But
Okay. Now,
I have to also play devil, but at the same time, like, she's just one woman with one opinion, and she's another one that, like, anything that she says, it has to go viral, and it has to be like, oh my God, the worst thing on earth. Like, oh no, she doesn't want to date a bus driver. Like, who gives a shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's her opinion, it's her right, it's from her perspective, from the reality that she lives in as a single, beautiful, older, successful woman in New York, I believe she lives. It's like a whole different reality from a lot of different people. But she must have the cloudy, so shout out to her.
yeah. Well, but you know what? I actually cover it, and you know what I said? I said the following, which was, she had the right to say whatever she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
She had the right to choose whoever she wanted. Okay. Just bear in mind that the type of men that she wants to pursue, they're few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And those men usually have have multiple options. And some of them, let's keep it real, is to pick a younger version of Ebony K. Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I mean, she was with her dude before for a long time, and they were engaged. So, I mean, I don't think it's probably fair to say for people to say that she can't keep a man. I mean, just because she broke up with her man, if it wasn't the right man, then that was probably the best thing. Because they said that he went home and during the hurricane, like, without her, and went with the kids or something. So that does say a lot about, like, how he views you. That's what she said. That's why she said that was like, a big reason why they broke up, because she was like, that basically showed her, like, what she was to him. He wasn't, she wasn't that important in his life. So I don't know.
But see, that's why I try to avoid getting into all that, and just
Hmm.
simply focusing on the fact that, hey, she has a right to express her point of view. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to accept it. You don't even have to listen to it. She
Yeah.
also has a right uh, to express her preferences, or to simply pick her preferences.
Hmm.
Now look what Irby wrote down. Jose talking like Kevin Samuel. I'm Peep Jose.
Yeah, it's a lot of that, I'm sorry, but a lot of men, they want to police women's, like, preferences and stuff. And it's like, if they want to be, I get it, because I can see both sides. I feel like I'm a rational person, right? I do see that there's a lot of delusion, but the delusion lies on both sides, because the same men that are talking about how women are delusional and they have these, like, unrealistic high standards, they're the same ones that are out here talking about they want, low body count and these, fresh out the fucking womb young girls. So everybody's a little bit delusional in the fact that men and women, and I think it's due to social media, and television and stuff. Like, everybody kind of thinks that they deserve the best of the best, even if they're not.
Okay, but you know what's the thing, Gigi? I have to be realistic. I'm 60 years old, so it's not like I can look for someone 35, 30, what have you. Okay, I have to.
Yeah.
I have to be realistic. Good evening, Rakim.
Hi, Rakim.
Hey, what's up to everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
Oh,
Good.
fine.
How
We're
are
just
you?
chilling.
That's good. That's good to hear. I was actually just coming from doing some grocery shopping, and I heard you guys speaking about the Ebony K. Williams situation.
Hmm.
Yeah. You know what? I can say this much. I mean, she has a knack of saying anything that's going to create a buzz.
Well, she's definitely a trigger for a lot of men online for some reason. That's why I kind of give her props because I'm like, you must definitely got the juice, girl. Because anything you say is like, it sets social media into a frenzy. Maybe she's doing it at this point just to mess with people, to toy with people.
You know what? That is a possibility. That is a possibility. So, just to bring you up to speed, Rakeem, we're just having open discussions, so we can talk about anything and everything. Um, it's just that I just got on my soapbox a little bit at the beginning,
Ah,
and
Jose trigger. I'm just joking. Hold on, I'll be right back, y'all.
okay,
Well, I'll speak on the Ebony K. Williams situation. The thing with Ebony K. Williams is that um, women that think like Ebony K. Williams, like it's one thing. Okay, you say you're successful, blah 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 blah. That's cool, but it's the women that are the loudest voices about not being able to find a mate when they're successful, and they're the ones that's making most of the noise. So most of the men, the only reason that a lot of men, in my personal opinion, online are reacting to a lot of the things that's been said because of this narrative has been continued for so long before social media. Most men haven't had a voice, and now it hasn't become a gender war until men started responding, and a lot of women just don't like what men have to say. And me personally, I think it's because for so long, a lot of women have been raised on these, misandric views of men. They've been taught that way. They've read the books, you know, the uh, the Bell Hooks books and different, misandrous shows and everything that has depicted men to be villainous and all of this other stuff that some women have been indoctrinated with that thought process when it comes to men, to the point that when men do defend themselves, it's like, who are you to defend yourself? You have no right to. Ebony K. Williams couldn't make it work with any man. She had successful men. She was married to, I mean, she was engaged to the gentleman that she was with, who was the CEO, but she had never, she only met his kids like twice or three times. What people do you know that is engaged and you only meet those kids twice or three times or something like that?
okay. Um, that when it comes
So,
to when it
well,
comes to, I'm sorry, go
just
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say with that, Jose, do you know anybody like that? Have you heard of
No,
people being
I don't. No, I
engaged
don't.
where
No,
they
I
only know
don't.
their children two or three times? So it'll tell you the dynamic of the relationship more than likely. And that gentleman was much older than her, so more than likely she might have been, she might have not been taking that serious from the jump. And due to the fact, I hate to bring race into it, but she's with this wealthy, rich white man. How do you think that might have been perceived with the rest of his family? They could have
Well,
played. They could have played a part.
I know for one thing, when I was married to my ex-wife, okay, I did try very hard to get along with her children, and for the most part, I was able to do that. It's just unfortunately, we had to go our separate ways, and the one that really hated, well, so allegedly hit it hard because I really don't know, was the younger child. It's just that unfortunately, um, we was at a stage where we were unable to resolve the issues that we both had, and we were both responsible. Okay, and I am not going to sit here and say it was everything perfect, because it does take two people to have an argument. Yeah, and I noticed that now Twitter is not called X.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. No, I was just okay. I was just sharing Gigi, um, when I was married to my ex-wife, um, I tried very hard to get along with the children, and and I accepted her children. I knew for the fact that she could never give me children because she had herself operated on, so she would no longer be able to give children. So I was I was cool with that. The problem was that we had so many unresolved issues and what have you that it just didn't, you know, for both our well-beings, we have to part ways, and we were both responsible. I'm not going to blame everything on my ex-wife because it takes two people to have an argument.
How did you feel about the fact that she couldn't give you children?
Um, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was a little disappointed, but I understood why, and that was not a factor of why we had a divorce. That was not a factor
Okay.
because I look at it. Well, okay, well, they were her children, and we can always adopt.
Yeah, but some people have like issue with that because like, when the man wants to have like their own like biological, like I had a friend like that, and she got married and she was with her husband for like 11 years and she couldn't have any more babies, and he knew that they got married, but he always had that like want or whatever. And then whenever they like got divorced, went and got with another lady who couldn't have kids, but they somehow, I guess he was like more upfront about what he wanted out of the things, and he was like, I'm definitely gonna have me like a kid, and you can like stick around if you want. And so she let him basically like have like a kid with like somebody else or whatever just to get one.
I would never do that. I would
Yeah.
never do that. I mean, first of all, because one thing, now maybe I'm a little old-fashioned that way, but when you look at a marriage, okay, it's like a contract, and there's certain conditions, okay. So whenever one party does not keep up their side, what it does, it creates a great deal of mistrust, hurt, and it's very hard to get that trust back. Whenever anyone stray, whether it be male or female, okay.
Yeah.
Um, Plus, of course, I have. I'm not gonna lie. There's also a religious upbringing, okay, as far as that's concerned. And the way I see it, if you're not able to remain committed to one person, it is best that you don't get married and just do whatever you want to do. Go smash whatever you want to smash, and just keep it moving.
It's only one downside to that, Jose.
Yes.
At the end, when that happens, it's not a reliable partner at the end of life to help you.
Okay.
And that's what people are thinking about. People want to have their cake and eat it too. You can't. I think some people feel like they miss out once they're involved in marriage and they constantly stepping out on their marriage. But people are thinking in the short term and not the long term. You only have a few chances to meet close friends. You only have a few chances to be close with certain relatives within your family. And you're only going to have a few chances to meet a life partner that's going to be down with you until the wheels fall off. That's just life. And I think a lot of people don't understand that until it's too late. Or,
Marriage is a sacrifice.
yeah, marriage is on both parts. On
Yeah.
both parts. Especially for men. It's definitely a sacrifice. Women are investing their wounds, they're investing their youth and their time into that man. That man is investing his resources. He's investing in a risk that he can lose half of his resources if things don't work out. And you got to really take time out to know who you're dealing with before you jump in that 12-foot pool.
Yeah. But that's why it's very important for both parties to vet each other very, very well. So therefore, so you will have a higher likelihood that the marriage will prosper. Now, my parents were unique. My parents were married for almost 64 years, and the only thing that separated them was death. Okay, and they went through a lot of hard times. Unfortunately, my father, he had a tendency to like the ladies a little bit too much, and I know I have at least one half brother somewhere in the world, and unfortunately, the men in my family have a reputation of being mujeres, which is Spanish like lady. No, 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 they love the ladies. So I made a conscious decision not to follow that example, which I have kept to this day. Because when you betray the trust of a loved one, it's very hard to get that trust back. And sometimes you will never get that trust back.
And one thing I will say, that Golden had said earlier, I do agree. Social media, I think social media exposed people for how they truly think, because everyone thinks they have so many unlimited options with social media. It's allowed us to communicate with each other from all different parts of the country and parts of the world. And, with sites like Instagram and different things like that, a lot of people tend to look and they think they have this unlimited amount of options. And the attention of one person from stepping out from stepping out with the night on the town, that you can just meet, that has been substituted for attention on social media. And that's why a lot of people think they have all the time in the world and they have all the options in the world. And that's just not the case. It's an illusion. Hell, I'm 35 right now. It seemed like yesterday I was 17 years old. Time keeps moving, but a lot of people, that's that. A lot of people get that dopamine hit from social media, and in the end, you have a lot of people lashing out. Like Ebony K. Williams, she was lashing out. She couldn't make it work with anybody. She had numerous chances on making it work, and then she tried to come back and talk about Black Power and all of this other stuff. But sweetheart, you was just with a white man that was the CEO, and apparently they must have made you feel some type of way over there due to like whatever situation.
No, because even when she was on the Housewives and she was with her white man, she still was talking Black Power stuff. She definitely, that is like how she is. Yeah. But there's guys like that too that talk Black Power and they're with white women. Like there are people like that exist.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't have any problem with that. Just be genuine with it. Just because people think that you can't be pro-Black when you're with another person. Okay, let's say you can't be pro-Black, but you can still care about your people. You're not going to stop. You don't stop being who you are till you pass away. So I'm not saying that that's not the case, but just be genuine with it. And if she, like Ebony K. Williams,
I actually found it more surprising that she even brought Black men up, because for whatever reason, I guess because she did have a white man, I thought she was maybe on the divested tip. So when she was talking about, I was like, oh, but she wants Black sperm though to make a baby. So that was interesting, right?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of no Black donors is very limited at these banks, at these sperm banks.
That's what Debrat and them said too. They're having a biracial, well, they had a biracial baby. They said that there wasn't that many options allegedly from Black men.
I applaud brothers for doing that. Yeah, don't do that. So, but like apparently she was one of the most hated people on the Housewives of on the Housewives show, from what I heard.
She was actually doing too much. It was cringe. She was going on and these like rich white ladies, and she was just making everything about race and like trying to educate them about, it was just like she was just doing too much. And so
they don't care. They're rich and white people. Of course they're not going to care. Like
I think it was more so at first they were like, "Oh, that's cool," but then it was like every time, and she was like trying to like catch him in every kind of way. So it was a culture clash, which made it interesting to watch. But she definitely, that's what I'm saying. She was definitely like very pro black, even with the white guy. And it was kind of funny to watch her call out those rich Karens on the show.
but see, and I think too another thing with Ebony K. Williams, she might be an elitist. She might be
Oh yeah, of
like the
course.
people that feel that, oh, I need I'm this caliber, so I need this caliber uh black guy and all of this other stuff. Well, if you don't find that, sweetheart, I'm sorry I don't know what to tell you. But even when you ask some of these women today, when you say, oh, can you date a blue collar guy? Oh, hell no. Not even fully even understanding that blue collar guys make more money than most people. You have guys that are in construction, guys that are that are electricians, that are plumbers, that are truck drivers that's making $100,000 a year minimum. Not even if they're not in the six figures, even in the high five figures. But it goes to show you how brainwashed people have been by, oh, if you're blue collar, that means you're minimum wage job, and if you're white collar, that means you're making lots of money. And a lot of people really think that it's more white collar guys out there than what it actually is that's making lots and lots of money, and they think they have a shot, which is crazy.
But you know something, people have this assumption that simply by getting a college education means that's the only way that you can earn a substantial living. I mean, there are many fields out there when you can earn a lot of money that you don't need a bachelor's degree. And let's keep it real. Not everyone is wired to attend college because it does take a certain amount of discipline to spend 4 years studying. Okay. And it doesn't mean that they're dumb. I'm
If you
sorry.
want to make some serious money, Jose, it's going to take more than 4 years. That's minimum. That's just a bachelor's. You're going to have to get a master's or even a doctorate in
Yeah.
something like STEM or different things like that. If you're going to see some money, if you're doing it for a bachelor's, you're just doing it to say you got a degree, and that's it.
I just think that she got out of a long-term relationship. She's probably bitter, wasted a lot of time, and you know what I'm saying? She's an older woman, so people are just probably putting way too much stock into what she's venting about right
No,
now.
I don't think so, because really black men ain't got nothing to do with that. Sweetheart, you was over there with your with your white CEO. We ain't had nothing to do with that. You was over there
Yeah,
for
but I saw a lot of black men do commentary on it though.
No, people didn't start doing commentary on it until she started trying to critique black men heavily with what's the woman's name? Ivania Transant, and when she went on a Breakfast Club. Other than that, most black men mind their business. Like a lot of black men don't even say anything until people come for us, and it's usually because somebody's looking for a punching bag to punch on. And then because they're
But I
mad.
felt like she really went viral with the whole bus driver comment. What do you think, Jose? And she didn't even say black men. She just said a bus driver. Like really, it was. That's why I think it went more so viral because all men felt offended.
Well,
So
okay,
it started off of the Breakfast Club, and then that conversation went to the bus driver.
okay, but you know what? As a white collar person, because technically that's why I am. Okay, I look at it this way. If I wasn't triggered, um, my only thing was that okay, fine. You want someone who is at least your professional level or higher. The problem is those type of individuals in general are few and far between. And those type of individuals have multiple options that they can pursue. And all I said was that maybe she needs to do a little bit of a reassessment as far as what's going on with her dating life. That's all I said. I mean, I know there was a lot of people that got offended because it sounds snobbish, it sounds elitist. I just look at it this way. I mean, hey, you can try to get into Harvard or Yale or Princeton. Just be mindful that the competition is extremely stiff.
I don't know. I just think it's normal that people move in their like classes normally. You know what I mean? So she might not be able to find somebody rich and famous, but I'm pretty sure she can find somebody who, has money and is rich. Absolutely.
Okay. See this.
Nothing is wrong with her dating white men at all, Irby. It's just once you over there, just keep us out of it. We didn't have anything to do with it. And she gotta ask herself as far as
Well, apparently she dates both. That's why. So everybody's in it.
Okay, well, like and one thing as well is that if that's the type of man you want, sweetheart, go get him. Nobody's stopping you. But the problem is, does he want you? With a lot of these rich elitist type of men, especially white men that's at the top of the economy, any group that they date, sweetheart, if they date Hispanic, they're looking for a young Selma Hayek. If they date black, they're trying to find them a young Beyonce. If they're dating white, then they're looking for I don't know, who's ever the latest beauty that's on Vogue magazine or something like that. So that's like that's your competition.
Why
You
is
can't be,
social media trying to tell this woman she ain't gonna be able to get nobody? Like she didn't just get out of a relationship with a very wealthy white man. Like this is how social media works. Like people I feel like just want to talk shit about each other. That's it. Like who cares? I mean, it just seems like hateration. Oh, she's gonna have such hard competition. She's not gonna. I mean, how do we know that? Like, let's wish her luck that she does find somebody she's happy with.
well, I'm just gonna give my personal opinion based off of
Me
her
too. That's
critique.
mine, basically.
Based off of her critique. And if you can't stand the heat, then stay out of the kitchen, pretty much. If you're gonna get on here and publicly address your woes in dating and talk about, oh, this and that, and I can't find this type of man and that type of man on my level, then most of the time people are gonna respond.
I'm just
That's just
saying she's like a rich girl from New York. She's like in a whole different bubble of like thinking like how we think, and that's evident. So I just don't know why people expect more from her. If you watched her on the show, she was very elitist. You know what I mean? She's very snobby and very pretentious and all of those things.
mm-hmm.
But
So
Well, we giving an opinion based off of the way we see, like how she's coming online. Oh, I can't find. She's the one that's complaining, not us. She's the one that's talking about who she can't find and who she can't date. If it was just that simple, she would have been on to the next one like that. Just quick of a at the snap of a finger.
hey
Got all
Ramon.
these, um, if she got all these men lined up for her to date, then it wouldn't be no issue. See, the thing is, why you have a lot of men respond to this is because it's the women that's complaining about who they can't find, not the other way around.
but
Hey
but
guys,
good
So,
evening, good evening, Ramon.
equal.
Hey
evening.
Ramon.
So you were, yeah. I wanted to wait until you were saying you will have your say, Jose, so I could chime in a little bit into this.
Okay. We're having open discussion. So basically, we're talking about a whole bunch of things. So now we're talking about our friend Ebony K. Williams again.
Yeah, you are talking about your friend Ebony K. Williams again because you like her. Okay, you like her because you bring her up a lot. You bring her up a lot. Let's be honest.
I kind
Uh,
of feel like all the men like her, and that's why they're like, "Oh, you won't give us a chance."
Well,
Nah.
nah,
no,
I'm no, 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 no.
Jose, Jose been talking about her. You've been bringing her up.
I'm good. I'm good. I got a special lady, so I'm good.
Okay, you remember now. Okay, so no, but I mean, what else is new about her that hasn't been said already? I mean, what is it that hasn't been talked about when it comes to what she was saying, when it comes to her preference and all of that. And it's already been established that she's being able to date. She's being free to date. She's being free to go around and do what she wants to do. Um, and now recently that I heard about her is that she was gonna do the whole in vitro thing, to have a kid.
I forgot
Something like
about that. Absolutely. And
She
that's
doesn't
one of
have
my
any time left. She has to get this. Yeah, she don't got no time. She waited to the last minute.
and see,
Well,
that's the problem. That ain't got nothing to do with men. She's feeling the
no,
pressure. She's
that's what she
feeling the
wanted to
pressure from her
do.
past choices.
And
And that,
she was engaged. She was
right,
engaged, and she had a high value wife, man. Who
right.
she was engaged to. If things didn't work out on her, then that's on her. I mean, what does that have to do with the man that may have an opinion on her? She's a public figure, and she makes statements publicly. She can't be mad about the fact that somebody has something to say publicly about something that she said publicly. It's really that's all there is to it. But when it comes to wanting to
Did
have a
she
kid,
respond? Is she mad? Because I haven't actually looked into it more, so I just hear people talking about it a little bit.
Well, people are talking about it based off her. She tried to disguise it as, oh, we need to build a community and we need to do this, but she wants this 6-figure man, and it seems like she's upset because she really couldn't get her way, and now she's trying to have this this child, and she's going to talk about single mothers by choice
yeah,
or some of
which
this
is a
other
very
stuff. I'm
selfish
like,
thing.
yeah,
That's
very selfish, very
That's
selfish.
very selfish because the kid is gonna have to is the one that's gonna have to suffer the fact that he or she is missing a parent, because
Mhm.
it is more ideal for the kid to have both parents. But there are these women, these modern women, that they want to have a kid, and maybe they have a few dollars, and maybe they can afford the maintenance of a child, but they can't do parenting effectively. Basically, the kid is gonna be left with the nanny. The nanny is gonna be the mom, and it's not gonna have a dad, because there is because of the notion that dads are not needed, and that's a very selfish position to take, because the kid is the one that suffers that. Of
Mhm.
course, it's a different subject to say if there was originally a dad and he chose not to be that. That's another argument. I mean, the whole thing about holding deadbeats accountable, that has been done for decades. So, and nobody's saying that shouldn't be done. But we're talking about on these instances
Hey,
when there was.
Ramon, we can't
Uh-huh.
hold deadbeats accountable until we go find every deadbeat and pistol whip them, because that's what the women want us to do.
Yeah,
But but excuse me, guys, but one thing that gets lost in the discussion, she's almost 40. Okay, so we're talking about high risk pregnancy.
well, it goes. Not every single time. I know the argument about the geriatric pregnancy, which is something that is not just something that was Kevin Samuel's opinion. That just wasn't his opinion. I heard other people talking about it, and that's something that you can look it up on medical journals when it comes to what is geriatric pregnancy. It is being established that it starts at around 35 years old, and that's something that there is a very real risk involved. Now, there is a risk involved, but that doesn't guarantee that it's gonna end up badly, because okay, 35 years old is not really that bad if the woman has kept herself healthy, and she has tested herself out, and she knows that she has good ovulation cycles, and all of those things that I don't really know nothing about, obviously, but
Well,
she has a good chance of being able to have a healthy kid. Now, if she is past the age of like 43 or something like that, then things do start to change because after 40, you are women are reaching the age of what is called menopause, and cycles are not really happening as much. And if there is a pregnancy in the mid 40s, then there are some other risks, which is something that I have seen myself. I have seen it myself, that there are older women that they have a kid and that the kid comes out without a hand, or it comes out having Down syndrome. This is something that I have seen because there are women that have a kid later in life and the kid doesn't develop properly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's let Gigi has saying this because we want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to speak.
No, I mean, I really don't have any pushback on that because obviously, babies are better with their parents, and it's not an ideal situation. And it is sad for a kid to grow up and have no opportunity to know their parent. Like you see all these sperm donor kids that are doing the DNAs and finding their parents anyways and popping up like, yay, I'm here. So yeah, there's that. And obviously, she didn't play her cards right, because if that was the case, she should have just probably had a baby from the white dude than now to be like, scrambling out here through sperm banks. It's not,
Yeah,
I don't
but
know. It's all
that's
bad
something.
basically. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. It's her life, so I'm not going to sit here and drag her. And if she wants to have a baby and she has the funds to do so, it's her right.
No,
Well,
it's not even about dragging. I mean, we're not really like passing judgment per se, but we are pointing out the fact that if she wants to have a kid all by herself, it's just not fair to the kid. That's
Hmm.
the part that I do have to kind of like point out. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like it does seem that there is the stereotype of the a demographic stereotype when it comes to these women, that they go on and become professionals, and they're so dedicated to their profession and their job that they disregard everything else, and they don't want to make balance in their life so they can have like a significant other and start a family also, which is something that women of other races do. They do that. I mean, a lot of women, many women of other races, when they are in college, when they're about to graduate, they might be engaged already. So they are creating a balance between what is their profession, their studies, and their personal lives too. So we see them. I have been to a couple of of reception ceremonies of these Asian, very young Asian women that are graduating college and they're getting married, because they were able to do both. They were the they were able to build for their future, but also build for their personal future, and still get married and get a degree and get a career. I have been to a
Can I
couple of
chime in on that, Ramon? The
uh-huh.
perfect example of you saying that. I remember when Chrissy did a video and she was talking about it was a viral thing that went, I mean, it was a video that went viral of all of these was young white girls just graduating college, right? And they all put up their hands and they all had rings on their finger. And
Mhm.
she literally had her audience, her subscribers in the comments saying, "Oh, look at those rings. Those rings are not even that big, or those rocks are not." I'm like, but they got rings though. They're
Mhm.
picked. Somebody picked them. Somebody is waiting to marry these women. Y'all don't even have a ring. None of you all have rings, talking about the size of these women's rings, and I'm like, and that's literally, which is the example of somebody that's a content creator that's literally sending her young audience that's impressionable down the wrong path. Like, these women have just graduated college with their degrees and they're already engaged to be married within the next 1 or 2 years, which means they're going to be married at 23, 24 years old with their husband who has his career intact, and with them having their degrees to be able to use those degrees if need be to,
But the problem is that life happens as well. Like, because
Mhm.
I've been divorced and I'm married again, and everybody up here is not married, right? So the same way, people break up every day. So that's why I feel like the real married people don't put that much emphasis on it as far as judging other people. Like, I don't look down on people that aren't married because, like, shit happens, people get divorced,
Mhm.
they're like that. That's the reality.
No,
but
no,
I
but
would
Have you
take,
guys ever been
I would
married?
take no, but I would take more
I have.
your word. I would take more of your word from a person that's been married than a
Mhm.
woman that's never been married at all.
Well, yeah, of
Mhm.
course. I'm just saying in
That's what
general with there is that whole kind of like shaming thing on, in these YouTube
No,
streets
well,
about that.
no, it's because you see, you got to understand. It's like it's a lot of these women that they're the ones with the shame and all of these high standards. So I'm not, but I'm like, nobody's knocking down your door, boo boo. Nobody's
Yeah.
standing in line to put a ring on your finger. You listen to too much Beyonce, and now you've been brainwashed into thinking a certain
Yeah,
way.
and
And as you
Beyonce
know,
goes home to her husband while
yep.
telling while
And
telling women to
Ramon,
be
is
single.
it Beyonce pulling back now on all of those records that she made? Now she's starting to make records about
But
love
why do
and
you
being
think it's
in
hard
the
for
house.
these women to get a ring? Because I don't know. It's just I don't relate.
No, well, they're looking for a certain type of person for a ring, and when that person never shows up, then their options on people that were standing with the ring has already put the ring on somebody else's finger. So
I mean, there's a lot of women that are just desperate to get married in general, even from their regular boyfriends, You
Mhm.
guys agree that a lot of men don't want to get married these days compared to before, right?
I'll
yeah, I
give
Um,
you
mean,
that. I'll give you that because we're living in a in a time where more and more men may not see the benefits for them. I mean, it's kind of like it's more cons versus pros. It's more the cons versus the pros for many men to be getting married. But just like we have to say this to the women, it's about betting properly. I mean, we get told all the time. We get told. That goes without saying for us men that we have to bet properly when it comes to selecting being with a significant other. Because if we don't bet properly, we definitely get screwed. We definitely
hey
get
Ramon,
taken to the cleaners. I mean,
when was the last time you heard a man come to you? Oh my God, man! Oh my God, I can't believe she did me like this, man. I met her at the strip club. I put a ring on her finger, man. I took her out of the
a
strip club,
guy that talks like that
and
gets
she just
clown. He got
and she just did me like
he's
this.
gonna get clown hard because it's like, well, that's what you get for being a simp.
um,
That's what you get. Yeah, but you remember that
excuse me,
story? Uh-huh.
guys. I remember, I think was it last year? I actually had the privilege to went to a play,
Hmm.
and the play was called The Checklist. And what it is, you have this Dominican family, and you have this lady.
Hmm.
She's the only female adult not married. Okay, and she had this huge checklist. What the guy wanted to be. He needed to be
Hmm.
single. He couldn't have any kids. He couldn't be this. He couldn't be that. Whatever. Now, it just so happens that she fell in love with a guy that actually had a kid. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So what the guy did was he denied that he had a child because he was concerned about that she would not consider him because she had a child through another relationship. So eventually the lady found out and she got upset and what have you. So the guy, which was black, had a talk with her father and explain the
Hmm.
situation. And then he was able to explain the situation to the chick, and they eventually got married. But the problem was she had all these crazy expectations of what
Hmm.
her man needed to be. And the problem is both men and women I mean, we can have outrageous expectations. Like in my case, look, I'm 60 years old. So it's not like I'm gonna try to shoot for someone that's 25 years old or whatever. I mean, I have to be realistic as far as you know what is the dating market is there for people like me. And and sometimes we need to be realistic as far as, look, if you are, it's one thing when you are in your 20s and your 30s, and you're doing reasonably well financially and everything else. It's another thing when when you're approaching my age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, no, I get it, and I have an idea as to the objective of the story when it comes to the play that you were watching. It's like it's kind of like on both sides, because because we're simple creatures, we're simple beings. Our requirements are usually fairly simple, but we could be rather strict with that. Now, women can have women can have like these very long lists of requirements, but that's usually for the guys that they're not attracted to like that. Because once the right guy comes around, once the guy comes around, and that golden, a lot of the list, a lot of the requirements go out the window. Yeah, it's like to hell
Yeah,
with it.
because
I like this
ultimately
guy.
it's all down to the chemistry ultimately.
Yes. Yes. So I don't worry too much about that. I don't worry too much about a woman's long list of requirements and expectations. She's just telling me that she doesn't like me like that. And that's good. And that's fine by me. I'll go. It's like I'll move on to the next one. If I were
But you know what?
if I were
But
dating.
you, but you
Mhm.
know what? It could be part of the vetting process because look, let's keep it real.
Mhm.
Um, both sexes, they don't want to date losers. Let's keep it real. And we can all agree to that.
Well, if it's for something long term, something serious long term, yeah, yeah. Nobody wants to date somebody who is a potential liability. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But if it's just to fool around, that's one thing. That's another thing. And one doesn't have to have a lot of standards if one is just trying to have a little fun, fool around a little bit. Of course, we're very carefully, but nothing really that serious. I mean,
mhm.
that's like a different tier. But if it's for something long term and serious, then yeah, there has to be kind of like a betting process. The betting process has to be
Yeah.
there. Hmm.
Now in my case, I dated different types of women. My first girlfriend was black. I was engaged to someone that was white. Um, Unfortunately, it didn't work out because she was too clingy, and she had trust issues,
Yeah,
and
insecurities. I mean, that's
yeah,
not going to last long. Yeah.
no, and the fact of the matter is, every time that she saw me talking to a lady, she swore that I was sleeping with her, which like, and I tend to talk to a lot of
Yeah,
ladies. That means like,
doesn't get
that
that
means
gets very
I'm
tiresome.
getting all this action, please.
It gets very tiresome when one gets accused and accused and accused of something that is not even happening. One having to defend oneself of accusations of something that hasn't even happened. I mean, it gets tiresome really quick, because if there have been some slight truth to it, that yeah, maybe I did talk to another girl. Maybe something like that did happen, and she was upset about that. Yeah, I'll handle that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, I did talk a little bit to someone else. I didn't mean anything like that. She was to argue with me about it. I'll take it. I'll take it like a man. Yeah, I did talk a little bit about something with someone else. I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't really do anything. But if I haven't done anything at all, but they want to argue with me and start accusing me of shit. I'll get tired of that really quick. I'll be, look, you are making shit up in your mind. I didn't do anything. Like, Like, no, you need to stop that, or I'm not hanging around with
Irby. That's
you. Okay.
everybody on social media now taking advice from bad
Yeah, it's
advice from
sad
people.
because it's become a business. It's
Mhm.
become a business. To be
Yeah.
honest, 'cause everybody think it started with Kevin Samuels, but it didn't start with Kevin Samuels. It
No.
actually started with I can remember when, of course, Chrissy, Paris Milan, who's the chick, Sprinkle chick? Who's her? What's her name?
That's the
Share
Sheriff Seven.
7.
Yeah,
The Sheriff
Shira
Seven. Yeah.
Seven,
Oh,
Michaela
sorry.
Pink,
That
who's a
one is talking.
felon right now.
No. Who's that?
Michaela Pink, remember her?
Like Michaela? Isn't that the one who went to prison?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
her.
yeah, because she
Um,
was scamming. She was
Yeah.
scamming people. Yeah.
They all-
excuse me, guys. Anyone wants to answer this question that Irby had regarding trying to find the right person?
yeah, I was gonna ask. I was just gonna ask it. So it's crazy because it's become a business now, and the crazy thing is kids are watching social media like how we used to watch television. So I really don't know what to tell them because it's so much misinformation that's going to lead them down the wrong path. For women, it's going to be more so for women than it is for the men. And I'm not trying to be biased, but most of the men are telling a lot of it's mandatory for young boys to have everything together before they're going out dating seriously. At least in the man spaces, no man is going to tell a young man to be a bum and go out here and just sleep with
No.
as many women as you can. So that's kind of mandatory on the men's side of things.
Yeah,
But
and notice that that's accountability amongst ourselves. Something
yes,
that we always criticize that women are a bunch of bums and nobody holds us accountable because we're men and the patriarchy and this and that. And no, that's not true. Men do tell other men, look, you need to get your shit together. You need to get things right. You need to be upstanding and be a man and be a protector and be independent, properly independent as a man, because the men are the ones that have to have a level of independence that a woman can respond to and respect. But when it comes to Irby's question, um, young people should be taking advice from somewhat
Jose,
slightly
my phone's
older.
gonna die. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Ramon. I'm gonna get down, you guys, because I'm on 1% literally.
Uh,
Okay, well, thank you very much for stopping by, Gigi.
You're welcome. Good night.
all
Good
right,
night.
good night.
good night.
Uh,
Okay.
But what I will say to Irby when it comes to the whole thing about taking advice, it should be young people should be taking advice from somewhat slightly older people that have been in relationships or are in relationships, so they actually know what the hell they are talking about. Because a lot of the when it comes to guys, to the boys, listen to slightly older guys who have dated, who do have experience in dating, that can actually mentor them. It's only logical. It's only logical that a boy can learn to become a man from a man. That's just entirely 100% logic. The thing is that we're living in a society where they're gonna have a confused boy trying to ask questions to a woman or to the mother, and women can only teach a boy how to become a future simp and doormat and even a cuckold. That's not gonna go too well. That's not gonna work out too well. I mean, boys be should talk to younger men, their dads, their uncles, the positive male influences. That's who they need to talk to. I mean, boys shouldn't be asking women for relationship advice because all the advice is gonna be a whole bunch of garbage. That's what they're gonna get. All that's gonna happen. No offense, because I'm sure that there are women that might mean well when they try to do advice for men when it comes to the relationship, but it's just not what I would recommend. You wanna learn how to have a relationship as a man with women. Talk to a man who has had relationships and has been fairly successful at them, because they're gonna give you they're gonna teach you how to do relationships from a position of masculine, of healthy masculinity. I mean, as a man, don't ask women for advice on that, because you're just gonna get all the wrong information. And when it comes to young women, these up and coming young women that maybe need to learn something about men, what is it that men see things, and what is it that men are looking for, like young ladies, uh don't talk to, don't talk to women about that, because you're gonna get the wrong advice. Tell you're just gonna be told all the wrong things. Listen to an uncle, father, positive male figure, older brother, older cousin, that can actually tell these young women the truth. They need to be told the truth. They need to, if they want to learn about what it is, how it is to get along with men, they need to ask men, not women. Because women never know. Women never ever get it right. So just don't ask don't ask other women, because many young women, they want to understand men, but they ask their mothers, not even their mothers. They shouldn't even ask their mothers, or they ask their girlfriends, or they ask Oprah Winfrey, and then they wonder why they never get it right. So yeah, you want to understand
Um,
men? Ask men.
okay. We at this point we just want to welcome Robert Lee to the platform. I think it's his first time here. Good evening. Let me just address that question. Um, First of all, I think you need to be realistic regarding yourself
Mhm.
and realistic. What are those values that you're seeking in a lady? Okay. And they need to be realistic. And then what you do is you seek advice, whether it be an older sibling or an uncle or a father or someone that's been in, been in a committed relationship for a good amount of time as far as advice is concerned. I think that's what, if you do those two things, you will do well. Robert, tonight we're having what's called open discussion. So basically, we talk about anything, and everything. So we're just addressing a question that Irby had in the chat regarding dating. So, what's on your mind, Robert?
As someone who is new to dating, new to the market, I can tell you this market is really crazy. It's insane what's out here. There's so many things that I'm not used to. Like I'm learning about ghosting. I didn't know this was a thing. I thought that was just something on the internet. Apparently people really ghost people. Um, and I'm also finding there's a lot of traumatized people out here. There's so many. I don't want to say women because I think there are guys out there traumatized. But I mean, obviously, since I'm dealing only with women, there's so many traumatized women out here. Like they went through so much with an ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, ex-fiance that it's like you sit down with them and that's all they're talking about. Or they're still not over. They're out here trying to date, trying to, meet men, but it's like you haven't even addressed the trauma that you went through in your last situation, and now you're out here trying to be with me, and you're just. So I think that's like the big thing right now is just meeting so many people with drama, with trauma, with issues that they have not dealt with.
No, and for real, Robert, don't get involved with somebody who's bringing all that baggage. That's what they call baggage. That's for what they're bringing from their previous relationship and the issues that they haven't resolved, and they're trying to dump that on you. And all they're doing is complicate your life.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
allow it. Do not
yeah.
allow it. Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example. I was talking to a girl. I mean, it was looking like everything was going well. I met her of all places. I met her at Walmart. So we start talking. Well, I go to my job. My job, we're stationed in the county jail. So I'm working my job. The girl that I met at Walmart comes into jail. She
Mm.
tells me she got arrested for her ex best friend jumped her at a gas station or whatever. So I said, okay, whatever. Processed her paperwork, helped her out. So her and I start seeing each other and everything. She had a boyfriend when she was younger, when she was like in her early 20s. She had a boyfriend that died of cancer.
Mhm.
Then she didn't even let the ink dry on her death certificate before she got involved with a new guy. And her and that new guy had a tumultuous 3-year relationship where he was kicking her out the house, cheating on her, just all all the stuff that they tell you about. And now she broke it off with him. And so now, her and I are trying to talk, and it's just she just couldn't get over that hump. I tried to I offered to help her, offered to be there for her. I didn't put any pressure on her. I didn't say, hey, you gotta be in a relationship. I said, hey, take your time, do what you need to do. I'm gonna be a gentleman. I'm not gonna pressure you into anything. Well, she told me that her sister was going through a tough time. So I said, hey, well, since your sister's going through a tough time, how about your sister, yourself, and your nieces and nephews come out? I'll take you out to the beach so y'all can get your mind off stuff. She said, okay. The day that we were supposed to go to the beach, nothing. Didn't call, didn't text. I said, okay. I said, okay. I said,
Well,
okay.
you were, you were being the good person. You were being a good guy. You went out of your way to do something nice for all of them, and look at what they do.
Yeah.
You see how they did. They need to resolve their own issues, and they need to heal. They need to heal on their own before they
Yeah.
even think about going around and trying to be around somebody who is a good dude like yourself. You deserve
Yeah.
better treatment. You deserve to be
Oh, yeah.
treated better than that. I mean, don't ever if I were you, I wouldn't talk to them again. But if she it calls you up and you decide that maybe you want to talk to them again, and so on, like hold them on a very short leash, because they already did you one. They already did you dirty one time, and you don't let them feel comfortable doing you dirty like that. I mean, that was disrespectful. You were willing to do something for them, and they stood you up. And I
Oh, yeah.
remember, I remember when that used to happen to me. I hated that shit because I was going with the best intention to the situation, and it wasn't just that I liked the girl and all of that, but I was like, okay, let me make some plans. Let's do this. Let's go to this place. We're gonna hang out. It's gonna be a good time, and that will ghost me. They will ghost me because ghosting is not. The term might be relatively new, but ghosting itself is not. It's not new because I'm talking about years ago. Years ago, when I will be stood up. It's the same thing. So I know the feeling.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Uh-huh.
I would just say, like, like I said, once I kind of saw, I sent her a message. I said, hey, you know what? I 100% understand. I
Mhm.
want nothing but the best for you. I hope it all works out for yourself and for your family. And I just let it go. I left it at that. I mean, every now and again, she'll check out my stories on social media, but for the most part, now I look at her social media. She's still over there talking about her ex. I was like, Jesus Christ, you gotta let
Uh-huh.
that stuff
Well,
go.
that's
You
that's
know,
what she needs to
yeah,
resolve. That's
yeah.
what she
Now
needs
she,
to handle it. That's not your problem. Hmm.
yeah. Now on the, she is like 10 years younger than me because she's like 27. So she's 10 years younger. So I chalk it up to part of that being just she's pretty young and already got all that trauma.
Right.
Like I said, I try, I told her no pressure. I did the best I could. I take her out. I say, hey, you ever been here before? She's like, no. I said, okay, we're gonna go here. You know, and she would tell me like, oh, I'm really close to my nieces and nephews. I said, yeah. I said, you know what? You're close to your nieces and nephews. I said, have they ever had cookie crumble? She's like, nah. So let's go to cookie crumble. Let's go buy the cookie crumble. So at the end of the day, like I said, that's just I chalk it up to the game. It is what it is. That's
Yeah,
just how
yeah.
it is out here on the streets. So back to the drawing board.
No, no, but understand this. Keep this in mind. When a woman ghosts you, it's not because she forgot. That's never it. That's never it. It's because she didn't think that you were important enough. That's what that is. She did not forget about meeting you. Is because something came up that she thought was more important than you. I mean, that's something that I had to learn the hard way. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She didn't forget. It's just she just didn't give a shit. That's how
she's
it
definitely
is.
chasing that.
Mhm.
She's chasing that male attention on social media, bro. She is chasing that male attention, man. I said, well, this might have been why you and your ex, part of the reason why you and your ex had so many problems, because I mean, I'm seeing some of the photos you were taking on Facebook. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, look, she's a baddie. I'll give her that. She's a baddie, but it's like you taking some of these
Yeah.
photos, and it's like you gotta understand it. If you're in a serious relationship, you taking these kind of photos, man, that's gonna cause a problem with any. You can be the best dude, it's gonna cause
Mhm.
problems. So hey, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the next one is gonna be more of a baddie because she's gonna respect you better. That's gonna make her more of a baddie. That's gonna make her more of a better woman for you. The next one. Focus on the next one. Forget about that one because
Yes,
that
sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, that one that's just trouble. It's red flags all over the place. So the next
Mhm.
one is gonna be a better baddie.
Yeah,
Yep.
especially consider she's been arrested twice. So yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, um, I'm gonna share something that happened this week at my job. Um, Actually, someone reached out to me stating that one of the employees um needed a union rep because there was some issues. So me and another union rep go up and we had this conference with the employee, the employee's supervisors, and the deputy director. So, we was trying to come up with a solution. Unfortunately, the employee was on full carry mode with anger management issues with a persecution complex.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so unfortunately, we were not able to resolve the issue. It just kept going on, doing with a 55-hour monologue, at which at one point she accused me of being rude and unprofessional. I said, no, it's just that I'm just trying to get to the issue. We're not having to listen to a 25-hour tirade.
Mm-hmm. No, well, I mean, you're there to do a job, but you don't have to take abuse. You don't have to take disrespect. There are people that don't know how to tell the difference between, like, okay, maybe they have a gripe, but then they want to get disrespectful with it. So you don't have to take that. That's not what you're there for.
No.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we were not able to resolve the issue because the employee was not personable. She kept going on her full Karen mold with anger management issues with a persecution complex. I mean, so anyway, I mean, it is what it is. You try your best to do what you can.
Yeah, that's all you can do. If that's not good enough for them, then hey, move on to the next one. Move on to the next one that you can cooperate with. We have more of a cooperation that you can work with. Yeah.
Yeah. But this week has been very humid. In fact, we had a heat advisory yesterday because the temperature got into the mid 90s.
But that's not okay. Here we go again, Jose. That's
Hey,
not
listen,
correct.
that's not nothing. Come to Texas, it's like 100 right now.
The average temperature is about like 108. That- that's
No, but here in New York, that's a heat advisory. And this is not a Jose Negron thing. It's a heat advisory.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean here it hasn't. It's been like 90 something degrees and it's been kind of humid. I've mostly been in a house myself. Sometimes you can have on the air and you haven't stepped outside the house and then you step out, you feel that blast of heat and humidity, you turn right back around and go right back in the door.
If I had complete climate control worldwide,
Yeah, we
I would
know.
be.
We know.
Yeah. No. Don't have that control because you will be destroying lives. I mean, that will be a disaster. That will be a nightmare. I mean,
No, I would.
ended up frozen. No.
No.
It's gonna be like
I,
the Disney movie, like let it go.
no, I would be a benevolent dictator. In
Yeah,
fact, I would allow 2 days out of the year to reach 85 degrees. You see how generous I am?
no, 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 hell no. Oh
And
man. Mhm.
and it would never get below 20 below.
Well, That's one thing I do say. Like when it comes to wintertime and everything here, I do have my winter colognes and everything that I like that I will be wearing. My darker colognes like my Tobacco Oud by Tom Ford, and what's another one I got? My Leighton, my Parfums de Marley, and different things like that. I really like those. They make some good winter colognes, those brands and everything. So I'll be throwing those on with my winter fashion when that times comes. That's the only part I look forward to in the winter. Not the driving in snow and the shoveling and putting down salt and all of that other stuff.
Oh yes, in Chicago, it does get kind of chilly over there.
Gets more than chilly, Jose. The lake effect, and that wind cuts through your skin, real deep.
Yeah, I remember when you were talking about that you was blessed for having a couple of chilly days in winter.
No, I don't know about. I wouldn't call it a blessing because those were a couple of days where it did get so cold that I didn't have running water. So I don't know how can that be a blessing. So no, 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 no. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Wow.
It gets too cold for me, and then things don't work right, and infrastructure gets badly affected because that's what happened. I mean, people's houses were flooding because of the bursting pipes and things like that. I don't see that as a blessing. I see that as a major
Absolutely
problem.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. Especially when Texas is not built for that type of weather.
No.
That's definitely not a blessing. Caused a lot of damage to people's homes, and that was a real rough time for Texas, man. Very rough.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
hadn't gotten like that like in 80 years or something. Hmm.
yeah, you lucky dog. Good night, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Shout out
So
to you, Kirby. Pleasure to see you, man.
yeah.
Hey, take care, everybody.
So Robert, what do you think about the platform?
I like it. I like it. I mean, I've been subscribed to you for a minute. And a lot of times, like when you guys go live, I'm usually at work, so I can't really participate. So I'll just sit there and like I'm listening to you while I'm at work. So this is like one of the rare times. Like, okay, I'm not working. You're live, so I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and jump on board. But that's cool. It's real laid back, real smooth.
Well, you see, the thing is, here we encourage discussion, and we can respectfully disagree and be agreeable doing it. Okay, we speak on many issues, and of course, being that Ramon's a little bit sensitive regarding the call, I like to tease him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing I've noticed is what I've noticed on the internet. It's got to be like a New York thing. This has to be like a New York thing. So like I've been on your in your chat room. I've been in obviously in Denise's. But what I've noticed, like if I say like, oh, I'm Dominican. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not Dominican. You're black. I'm like, whoa. Like I've seen you. I heard
I
your
have
voice.
an idea. I think I have an idea who you're
It-
talking about.
And a lot of times it's just like we did it. Like there's other people that like I actually speak Spanish and everything. There's other people that like celebrities that don't speak Spanish and y'all don't say anything about this. But I come on here like, oh no, you black, you black. And it's just like, okay, whatever. I don't want to beef. I'm not like I don't want to take attention away from Jose. Or I don't want to take attention from Denise. I just sit there and just take it like, all right, whatever. But it's like I just find it interesting. Like it's got to be a New York thing because they're like hardcore with the stereotypes. Down here in Texas, here in Texas, it's like not like that.
From the Northeast, have a tendency to be very argumentative when it comes to those things.
Yeah, man. Here in Texas, it's not like that at all. Like, you walk down the road, like, hey, tú eres dominicano, sí, tú sabes, yo soy dominicano, yo soy dominicano y cubano. Ay, qué chulo, qué lo que, qué bola hacer, like, tú sabes. But like,
yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it, because we don't obsess about it. Now, I'm not from Texas per se. I'm actually an islander, and just like that, I mean, we don't really obsess about those things. We might ask a couple of questions and like, okay, well, oh, your parents are from here, or they were born here, or they moved from the islands, and how long have you been there, and how's it been, how do you find it? A few questions like that, but we don't obsess about the whole racial aspect. I mean, I know that it wasn't perfect for us because we had to deal with colonialism too, and to a degree we still are. So it's not entirely perfect, but I think we have advanced since the
Yeah,
time
oh,
when
definitely.
when we will be asking the whole thing about the whole better the race, because that's something that I have heard it. Yeah, I have heard it, but we don't. These days, we don't really even talk about that so much anymore. I mean, and all the times that I have been in the Dominican Republic, people don't go around talking about that. It's
Yeah.
really not so much of a thing. Have we? Are we aware of those mentalities that they do exist and float around? Of course we are. Of course we do, but we don't dwell on that. We don't dwell
Yeah.
on that. We're more concerned on things that are immediately more important.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well,
Well, I know, me personally, like, for instance, like when it comes to the whole Dominican thing, after running into some of the personalities that I've ran into, that's a
Mm.
subject that I usually leave alone because I've ran into quite a few nasty personalities when it comes to,
No, yeah, but I know who you're referring to. I know who
yeah.
you're talking
I,
about.
I leave I leave that alone.
Those
I
are
even
the characters. Those are not the characters of
But it,
personality. They're not real
but
people.
it's only like on the internet though. That's what's crazy. But it's like it's only like these like este fulano de Nueva York. Like it's these guys in New York, and I'm just like, is this like a New York thing? It's like, are you guys like? It's like they want you to fit this stereotype. You have to fit this stereotype. You have to be in this box. Like, I guess because I'm not wearing Timberlands and wearing a bandana, and I don't sound like Joel Santana. Like, it's just like, dude, I'm in Texas. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
was these other Dominicans saying this, or were these Black Americans saying this?
Nah,
Rob?
these are Dominicans on YouTube, and I'm just like,
Yeah, a lot of
bro,
people.
like,
And I've ran across quite a few that would say, "Oh, they're not really Dominican." How would you know? Do you even know the region of the
You
island his
know?
family come from? Do you like? And some people, I'm like, you haven't even been to the island yourself, and you talking about,
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of how they're always going after
preach,
Armando.
preach.
Now they're always going after Armando and talking about that. You're in Dominican, this and that. You're Black American. They're ragging down. And I keep telling Armando, look, don't go back and forth with them. Don't engage. They're just messing with you. Yeah. But he kind of engages with them and with the whole
yeah.
back and forth thing. I keep telling her, look, this is not worth it.
yeah, it's
They're just
not worth
messing with
it,
you.
man. And calling
Like,
people, who got lineage, cocolos, and all of this other stuff. I've heard that term numerous times about, oh, you're not really Dominican. Your family came from this English speaking island, and that makes you, not really Dominican because your family's. I'm like, oh, really? Wow. Y'all really
Mhm.
taking this thing to a whole nother level, aren't you?
Mhm.
like my job. Okay, I was a teacher for 12 years. I was a bilingual math teacher. Now my job, I'm a bilingual pretrial officer. So which requires that I had to take a Spanish test. I had to pass to get these different certifications. So I remember I was writing. I think I was in Denise's. I think it was Denise, one of Denise's lives. I was typing something in Spanish. Somebody wrote in the comments, "You got that from Google Translate." I'm like,
Well,
what?
oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
and I'm just like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's not that serious. I'm like, so I said, hey, you know who Prince Royce is, man? Like, Prince Royce is Dominican. This dude, if you watch me in interviews, he butchers the Spanish language in every interview, and none of
Yeah.
y'all say anything. Y'all just like, oh, Prince Royce. A mí me encanta Rain Roy. A mí me encanta Rain Roy. But like me, who probably speaks better than him, it's like, oh no, he's black. He's using Google Translator. He had a
Yeah, yeah.
teacher.
That he kind of has like an excuse because because he's an artist and he has popularity, so they are more lenient with him when it comes to the whole thing about the language. But because you are more of a working class person and
Yeah,
you're not an entertainer, and, and
yeah.
that's why this be easier for them to feel comfortable questioning that.
I also think it's
Uh,
again, it's a New York thing.
yeah. Excuse me, guys. We're gonna start to wrap this up. Will anyone be available to speak briefly in the backstage, or you all gotta go?
I'll stick around.
I'll be there for a few minutes, no, not
Okay.
too long.
I got a
So
few.
okay. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna take closing remarks. So we're gonna take it from the person who loves the winters of Chicago, who dreams of being buried in snow, who wants to take a dip in the river in wintertime. The 18th letter.
If-
You're
oh,
so
flip it on
funny,
you. I
Jose.
thought you were talking about me because you always try to insist that I'm supposed to love the cold. I don't.
Oh, wait, wait,
Never.
wait until it's your turn. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no. You're gonna stay there for a long time. So, yeah, I'll be quiet.
Okay, coming from the Great Lakes, of the Midwest. I wanted to say once again, thank you for allowing me to be on your platform, Jose. I always have a cool time, especially chopping up with my boy, the introvert Boricua, and just the different subject matter where people of sound state of mind can come and communicate, and just we can talk about certain subjects whether we agree or disagree, and have an adult conversation. So once again, thank you for allowing me on.
You're quite welcome. Thank you very much for stopping by. And I'm going to put you in the backstage. So now we're going to deal with the lover of cold, who think that Orchard Beach is the most beautiful beach in the world.
Mucha beach.
Who thinks the water is so pure that it's almost tempted to drink out of it.
The
Who
hell?
wants to be who
Of
wants to
course.
be buried in snow? Who wants to go to Times Square to watch the ball drop in shorts and chancletas? Who wants to go be a part of the Polar Bear Club and bathe in Coney Island during on New Year's Day? The introvert Boricua.
No, no, no. Don Jose, usted sabe de que eso no. I need me some warm weather. I mean, lately, okay, I'll admit, here in Texas it has gotten a bit out of control. But if you just go down to the high 90s, I'll be happy. But it has gotten a little bit hotter than that. So let me be with the heat. I can handle the heat. The cold is what I can't do it. Can't do it because I can't move around. People get into accidents with all that ice weather, ice covering the roads, and people getting into accidents. And no. It affects the infrastructure too negatively, and when it comes to homes and things like that. But Don Jose, I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. I know that I came in a little bit late. I have to take care of some things, but I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. I look forward to the next one. And hey, from coming out to you from the Lone Star State, also, I understand that my guy Robert is in Texas too. So you know that it's nice and warm down here, and I wouldn't want it any different. So thank you, Jose, for letting me be on your panel. Shout out to you. Shout out to the chat and the rest of the panel. Well, I'll hang in the back. We will.
Okay, thank you very much for stopping by, Ramon. I'm going to put you in the backstage. So now we're going to hear from Mr. Rabelli. Your final thoughts.
Jose, thank you for letting me be on. It's always a pleasure to talk to good quality men, other quality men, get some ideas and just, hearing different perspectives, but also seeing that I'm not alone in the challenges that us men deal with on a day-to-day basis. So it's definitely nice and refreshing to see that I'm not alone in the challenges. And like Ramon, I prefer the heat too. I can't deal with cold. Anything under 70 is cold to me, so I can't do it. Thank you guys.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Robert. So what I'm going to do is put you in the backstage. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay, now I'm going to give you my final thoughts. I think this was a good stream. I like the way how it flowed, and we are able to express our own points of view regarding multiple topics. And that's the beauty part about open discussion. Everyone can mention anything, and we can have mature conversation regarding that. Okay. And as always, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the chat who participated in the chat. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who participated on the panel. Okay. So I'm going to be live Tuesday. I think it's going to be like 8:15 p.m. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking to you regarding my experiences as a YouTube creator, because it will officially be 2 years that I've been a serious YouTube creator. So I'm going to share what's been my experiences, what's been my struggles, where I did right, where I did wrong. And, this is something for anyone who is seriously thinking of becoming a YouTube creator, what things to try to avoid and what to apply. As always, it's been a pleasure to be able to chuck it up with all of you. We're going to go back to an old saying that I use, which is the following. We must avoid at all costs the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we would be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Wishing all of you a good night. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and peace.
Be strong.